Welcome, my friends and family. Thank you for tuning in to the Beautiful, Bald, and Bold. All right, so last time we talked, we're talking about me, and I said I would talk a little bit about me and baldness, but you know what? I'm not really going to do that. I'm going to talk about us and how beautiful we are. And I know everybody go through some things. Like I said before, I don't know what your situation is or was, but I can only speak about me and things that I noticed. Again, I had talked about all the different products they had out there for growth, growing your edges, growing your little bald spots on stuff. And then, the side effects for some of the medication that they use is kind of worse than, I guess, worse than going bald, maybe, because some side effects could be really not good for you. But everything has side effects. All medication, everything got side effects. And you start looking at the stuff that you're taking now, you'll see the side effect. You'll be like, oh, wow, I'm taking this and it can do that. I've seen lately they came out with something, some kind of, looked like some kind of paste stuff that a person had went over in Africa using this paste like stuff on your hair, and you had to wear it on there for like 48 hours. And of course, it was like most people can't do that because they have to work and whatever. And so then the person went somewhere else and they had made it like a serum and that you put in your hair where you're thinning or don't have hair, and it supposedly grow it. And again, I don't know if that product is what it is. I have not done that, have not spent money on it, and I won't spend money on stuff like that because of the mere fact I'm happy like I am, and I spent money over the years, and I'm not doing that again. I'm good. But for all you who want to try that, truly do it. You see what you like. I don't hear this stuff in the news. Okay? I don't see it on anybody. Well, so far I didn't see it on anybody's social media. I did. I think that's where I saw it on social media. But people, I'm going to stick with this. If this stuff really works like that, worldwide, people will be flocking in there, getting this stuff to grow their hair back. And it will be on the news because they'll be making millions. Now, if I could come up with a cure for baldness, all types of it, doesn't matter what it is, how high you got it, that you can grow your hair back, man, I would be a billionaire. Probably a trillionaire. But I'm just saying, if somebody got a product like that, you booming. You booming. But baby, you got to think about that. Do I want to spend this money to see if this product works? Or do I just want to throw on a wig when I want some hair? Or do I want to do this implant thing? People do that too. I don't know how well that works or whatever. But I seen this thing, I think it was on Facebook, where the men at the barber, they had a unit or whatever they put on the head of the man. You could not even tell it. That looks so good. Now see me, that's something I would do. It looked good. And I'm like, why they ain't showing it with the women? Women can use this too, because some people just have this little spot up here. You can put that thing on your head and blend it in with your hair. You good to go. Now that's for all you all who want to do that. And I actually tried to see how my hair would grow, get the little fuzz going and stuff. And of course, it's like all this gone, but you see something coming and you be like, oh, is it going to come or is it not? Of course not. And if I do, I get to looking like, oh, if it's trying to grow, I'm just happy without it. It's been so long, and I'm at my best when I don't have it. I can't walk out here in public and got some hair here and some hair here, and that's when I would feel hurt. Like, I couldn't do that. I don't see how people do it, but to each his own. But people do. But this girl, I won't. And then when you do go bald, if you shave all your hair, you'll get your confidence out. Once you shave it, that's confident. Because you have been bold and made that stand and you went on out there and did your thing. Because, again, I'm always going to say this. You're beautiful first. Then we're bald. And then we're bold. We're owning who we are. We're owning our us. You're owning you. I'm owning me. We're owning it. So don't let nothing discourage you. Just step out there and do it. You'll be okay. Put a little gloss on, maybe some mascara, a little shadow if you want, if that's the problem. But if you're like me, you got to put eyebrows on too because you don't have that. Got a little eyelash here, but I added some mascara. So I'm just saying, you do some things that make you happy or how you feel. and you move on. Yeah, sometimes you may get stares, but you know what? We're in the age now that nobody don't even stare at you no more like that used to. You get people saying something, maybe saying, "Oh, you're so beautiful," and a lot of time, people will say it thinking that you got cancer. That's what they'll be thinking, and not thinking that this is just your style, and won't even ask you. They just make that assumption, and I'm like, I don't have cancer. I had that to happen to me when I first had my head shaved and going to work. I put on my little cap, and the warden he didn't come up to me to say nothing. He sent the assistant warden, I guess it warden, deputy, whatever, but he sent her to tell me that, oh, I can wear my cap. And I'm like, heck, I wear my cap anyway. Been wearing it. What the heck he talking about? And she was saying that, and I said, okay, that's why I addressed it. Okay, I was coming to work one day, called him on the rep, and I said, warden, blah blah blah. Sir, thank you for sending whoever the assistant warden was, but I do not have cancer. Okay, I kind of felt some kind of way because you made that assumption instead of just trying to find out for yourself, or had her to find out for sure. I mean, because you see me with hair and then you see me without any, and you thinking, hey, but I ain't been off work. I had cancer. I'm going through something. I'm going to be off work for a while. Now, that's what you should have been saying. Do I need some time off? Because you know what? I'd have took that time off. I ain't had no cancer, but I'd have taken the time off. You're going to give it to me. But I'm just that assumption. People, you were so wrong. And it could have went real left. But I hurried up and addressed it with him because I'm like, I feel good. But you felt some kind of way. Why? I'm good. I didn't look no different. To me, this face was still the same. Just didn't have no hair. But this face and my inside and me was still the same. Nothing changed. I might have got a little bit of more attitude at that time, but hey, things were still the same. But yeah, he made that assumption and he was wrong. So I had to address it. And that's what I do. I will address things in a heartbeat. Whether it's about me being bald or not, I will address things. But people, don't go out there making an assumption about somebody. If you want to know, ask them. Don't just assume. Just ask somebody, and I'm sure they'll tell you. Ain't no big thing. I can tell you. I can tell you in a heartbeat, like, what's going on. I'd rather you ask me than make that assumption. Because y'all are always assuming, and you know what they say about that. Anywho. But ladies, gentlemen, and whoever's out there listening, you do what's best for you. As you can tell, I can walk in my new with no problem at all. I can take whatever anybody want to say. If you want to call me bald, I will laugh at you because guess what? I am bald. So you ain't saying nothing I ain't heard. And when you may get something, maybe little kids, like I said before, the little kid was staring at me and I said, you like my head? And they was like, I said, okay, thank you. And then you may get some kids out there that, you bald. Oh, you just noticed that? Where you been all my life? I'm just like, just make a joke and go on. It's not that serious. And speaking of that, let's talk about one that, oh my goodness, everybody was talking about. The intimacy. No, not intimacy. Y'all remember that one? Will Smith. I had not said anything, but I want to say this. Hear my thought, and it's just my opinion. Jada, I don't know if he did it because of the statement that was made, but he just said about her being in what's the name of the movie again? Can you help me out, Jess? Do you remember?
The Terminator.
No, it ain't no Terminator.
G.I. Jane.
G.I. Jane. My girl don't know nothing about the G.I. Jane thing when Demi Moore had the shaved head. And I was like, you gonna do G.I. Joe 2? Well, that was a good movie. And heck, I would love to see her play it. I didn't think nothing of it. I didn't think it was a joke. He just made a comment and some people laughed and it wasn't nothing. I didn't think it was anything. Now my girls said something else, but I didn't think it was anything. But I'm like this. She was sitting there as beautiful as she could be, how are you going to feel a certain kind of way? Because you're in there. You're with the audience. You're with all these people. You're on TV with millions of people. How could you possibly feel any kind of way? Because you're in your new now. You have accepted who you are at this time. Why? It didn't make sense. I mean, she rolled her eyes. I think she was just rolling her eyes because he made the comment like, you picking on me again or whatever. And I'd have been like, yeah, I'm going to do that. Here I am. G.I. Jane 2. That's me. But, you just play things off. He didn't mean anything by it. And Will, I guess when, he felt some kind of way, but he probably been feeling some kind of way before this. And so when my brother came out and said that, he took out his frustration on him. But something been going on in that household before then. And it truly had nothing to do with her head. Because if his daughter walking around there with her head shaved, it truly did have nothing to do with that. And she did that on her own. But I understand her mom has alopecia. Like anybody else, most of us, you got all different kind of types of alopecia. Now, I could feel a certain kind of way because, see, I lost hair on my body. You talking about your head. What do you do about your body? Like that, I got hair anyway, but I'm just saying. I think it was blown out of proportion, Jada. And like I said, beautiful as you are then. That right there, I didn't feel no kind of way. And my girl said that, Mom, you don't have no sympathy. You know what? Because you have that cry and you move on. Because you cannot live your life worrying about this. Because then at that point, you have no life. I worry about the people who have the cancer. I know they lose their hair, but I'm worrying about the cancer, not the hair part. I'm worrying about the cancer. Well, I'm concerned about that because, they can get their hair back. Or, then again, like I said, people, you can wear a wig, but I'm concerned about the people's health. And us with alopecia, okay, it's a real thing. You glorified your hair. I've never glorified my hair. I could care less. But I get it. When it happened to me, yeah, I wouldn't look in the mirror to comb my hair because you had to come up with all these styles to cover up and do this and do that. And you're young and your hair gone and you don't know how you're going to act or how it's going to be. And you just learning all different kind of ways to cover and you doing all that. And then at some point you like, bump this. I'm tired of that. Let me just see, because I know eventually all of this hair is going to be gone. I need to see what I look like. And that's when I did it and been happy ever since. Because then I ain't worrying about that. I'm just living me. But Jada, let it go, girl. Here, a lot of people got alopecia. Let it go. So, and I'm thinking you good. Because you're in front of you doing that little red table thing with your guests. You moved on. You have moved on because you faced the public with it. Because once you come out publicly, you're good. Think about it. You're good. You stepped into your new you. Get it? New you. People, so just step into your new you. You got it. I would be your number one cheerleader. You have it. It may make you have a little attitude. I mean, a little sassiness to you. I'm going to say not attitude, but a little sassiness to you. But you're going to be good. So you are beautiful. You are bald. And you are bold. My sisters, you have this. Make it work. Be happy. Don't worry about it. Anytime you need a word of encouragement, you can always reach out at me. Reach to me. Only thing I have about this that sometimes I sweat, and I told you guys about that, but I have this stuff that I use called Central Dry, and you just rub it on your head like it's Certain Dry, like it's like deodorant, but you just put it on your head and it'll work.
Certi Dry. It's not certain, it's certi. It's spelled CERTI, then DRI.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. It's Certi Dry.
She gonna tell me about something I use. Go
Because
get it
it's
out.
not
Okay,
called-
people, it's not called that.
It's called Certi Dry.
Okay, I'm gonna show that to you when you open up the thing. It's in a little container.
I got mine.
Oh, I'm sorry, she got it on. But yeah, people. Anyway, I use that to catch the sweat
Mine is
from catch the sweat to stop my head from sweating. One of the dermatologists told me about it, but I don't understand why my head just get hot. Like you could feel the heat.
I was snatching out of my hand.
This is what I'm talking about. Certain Dry, just like I said.
I thought it was Certi.
You guys, You just take it and rub it on your head if you're sweating a lot or something like that. But then again, you can also wear a scarf that, during the summertime. Anytime I go out in the heat, I wrap up my head or I put on a cap because I don't want that sun on my head. I don't like. That's the pros and cons. And the other thing is, wintertime. Can't stand for my head to be cold. Now I'll sweat too, but I gotta cover up my head. So just make sure that you are taking care of your head during that time. Because who wants to have a cold head? To me, if my head cold, my whole body cold. But people are just shaving their head. Ain't nothing wrong with them. So you fit right in. And most people be thinking you just did it because. Not because you had anything going on, but just because. And my only thing is I have this little bit in the back. I puff it out, curl it up. Like I just put on some water and it'll curl up, keep it moving. Or I'll press it out, make a little ponytail, but it doesn't grow because by now it should be down my back and it's not because it ain't going nowhere. But I was able to keep this. This won't grow, but it's still here. It hadn't went away and I don't understand that, but I'm fine. Last remark. I'm going to tell you guys about a story real quick. I applied for a job when Northwest was an airline before they merged with Delta. I applied for a flight attendant job. Co-worker, she worked with Northwest and she's gonna tell me what I ought to do, and I'm like, okay, whatever. I go. It's like not a group thing. Go to the interview. It's not an interview first. They give you this exam. You take this exam because it's telling you about flight. If a airplane left at this time and this was at this time and blah blah blah, that kind of thing. I passed that. So I moved on to the next stage, which was actually the interview. I interview with the lady, and guess what? She offered me the job. But prior to that, my friend, my coworker rather, says to me, "Are you going to wear one of your heads?" And I just looked at her like, "What? Put on one of your head." And I'm like, I got my head on. I'm going to put on another one. I knew what she was talking about, putting on the wig or whatever. But I had no intentions because that's not who I am. But anyway, like I said, I went with my baldness and I got that job as a flight attendant. Bam. So, hey, that new, it worked. But then here goes the thing. You my coworker. Try to be my friend. And I tell you, hey, I got the job. This heifer says, oh, they must be desperate. And I said, what? Did she just say desperate to hire me because I got a bald head? And I said, wait a minute, hold up. Ain't no desperation in this job. These people hired me because they liked me. They hired me off my personality. They hired me with the ability knowing that I was going to be able to do the job. And they hired me because they thought I was beautiful. She loved it. And so do I. So when I said that, then I say this. On my worst day, trust and believe my worst day, I always look better than you. You have nothing on me because what I have is always here. Always here. I'm going to always have that inner beauty. I'm going to always have that outward beauty because, see, to me, I am beautiful. God made me and I'm going to always be beautiful. So knowing that, walking in it, that's who you are. You never let nobody tell you nothing else. And don't ever let anybody try to comfort you in a way like that. And guess what? I still was her friend to the end until she passed. I still did that. I didn't let that deter who I was as a person. Did it hurt me? No. It just told me what you thought of me. And so I just said what I thought of you. But you know what? We were good. I got that job though. That's all I can say. I got that job. Yes, I got that flight attendant job. Didn't work it. Had to let it go because I was trying to graduate from college at the same time. So, but I got it. That was the point. I got it. And I got it with being who I am. I didn't have to put on a wig. What for? We all come in all shapes and sizes, whatever. Long, short, no hair. We are like that. And now more than ever, this stuff is being accepted. People will always talk about people being a certain way, but don't let that stuff bother you. Because you can walk in your new, and you can do whatever you want to do. Because it didn't change who you were. Your hair never defined you. It never really was a purpose just to be on your head, to cover up your head. You can put a hat on, put a wig on, whatever. But I'm just saying. So with that being said, thank you so much again. And as always, deuces.